Welcome all of you for today's Srimad Bhagavatam session. Let us begin with prayers. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Creation, Chapter 7, entitled The Son of Drona Punished. Text 29. Suta Uvacha श्रुत्वा भगवता प्रोक्तं फाल्गुनः परवीरः स्पृष्ट्वापस्तं परिक्रम्य ब्राह्मन् ब्राह्मास्त्रं सन्धदे. Translation by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaраvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Sri Suta Goswami said, hearing this from the personality of Godhead, Arjuna touched water for purification, and after circumambulating Lord Sri Krishna, he cast his Brahmastra weapon to counteract the other one. So, in the previous session, we had seen that upon being requested by Arjuna about the cause of the effulgence which was spreading in all directions in the sky, Lord Krishna revealed that it was because of the Brahmastra released by Dronaputra Ashwathama. So the Lord also told that, O Arjuna, you are the best among the knowers of all kinds of astras. So you please release your Brahmastra to counteract the astra, the Brahmastra released by Ashwathama. So that was the instruction Lord Krishna gave to Arjuna. Now, here, Suta Goswami is continuing to narrate the entire incident to the sages of Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunaka Rishi. So, that is why here Suta Uvacha has come. The whole thing is narrated by Suta Goswami to Shaunakadi Rishis in the Naimisharanya forest. So, Suta Goswami is saying, Shrutva Bhagavata Proktam. Shrutva, after hearing, Bhagavata Proktam, what the Supreme Personality of Godhead Bhagavan had spoken, Phalgunaha Paraviraha. Phalgunaha. Phalguna is one of the names of Arjuna. Since he was born in the month of Phalguna, he is known as Phalguna. It is the same month during which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also appeared. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared on the full moon day of Phalguna month. So it corresponds to March, April, March, April, according to the English calendar. So Arjuna has got Dashanama, 10 different names, and one of them is Phalgunaha, because he appeared in the month of Phalguna Masa. So Phalgunaha Paraviraha, Paravira Ha means the killer, Paravira means the opposing warrior. Arjuna is also called Paraviraha, the killer of the opposing warrior. In fact, Arjuna's another name is Vijaya, he who has never seen defeat in any battle. He is always victorious. Therefore, he is called Vijaya. And Krishna is often referred to as Vijaya Sakha. He is the friend of Vijaya, the friend of Arjuna. So, Vijaya Sakha. In one of the chapters coming forward, we will see that when Bhishma Deva offers his prayers to Krishna before quitting his body, uh, when he was lying on the bed of arrows, that time Bhishma Deva prays to Krishna, referring to him as Vijaya Sakha, O friend of Arjuna, who has never seen defeat, who is always victorious. So here, Paraviraha means the one who is expert in killing the opposing warriors, that is Arjuna. Sprishtva apaha. Sprishtva means he touched. After touching, apaha means water. That means he touched water for purification because the Brahmastra or any celestial weapon has to be invoked by chanting certain mantras. And in an impure state of body or mind, one cannot chant those celestial mantras. So, that is the protocol to be followed while chanting Vedic mantras. So, before chanting the Vedic mantras, one has to purify one's body by taking a bath. Now, if not bath, at least one must sip water by chanting various mantras. So, here, Sprishtva means touching water. Arjuna touched water for purification and he also sipped water. And then what did he do? Tam parikramya. Tam refers to Lord Krishna here. Tam parikramya. He circumambulated the Lord. So Arjuna, being a pure devotee of the Lord, his faith was not simply on the strength of the power of his mantras or his ability to invoke Brahmastra at will. A pure devotee is always dependent on the Lord and his blessings, his mercy. So even though Arjuna was an expert and he could actually invoke Brahmastra, but before actually invoking Brahmastra, he circumambulated the Lord. He did a parikrama, pradakshina of the Lord. So pradakshina, when we visit temple also we do parikrama or pradakshina around the Lord, around the deity. So pradakshina means to keep the deity on our dakshina hasta, on our right hand side, and to go around the Lord. Dakshina hasta means right hand, and left hand is called vama hasta. So pradakshina means you go around the Lord, keeping the Lord on your right hand side. And the importance of pradakshina is uh, it signifies that for a devotee, the Lord is the center of his life. The Lord is the center of all his activities. That is the meaning of doing a parikrama or pradakshina around the Lord. When we are doing parikrama around the Lord, we must consciously think that my life should be centered around you, my dear Lord. I should exist only to serve you, to carry out your instructions. You are the center of my life. So that is the meaning of performing pradakshina. So Arjuna, he touched water for purification and then he actually circumambulated Lord Krishna. Brahmam. So here Brahmam refers to the Supreme Lord, Krishna, and Brahmastram Sandadhe. Brahmastram, the supreme weapon of Brahmastra, Sandadhe, he he acted on. So he cast his Brahmastra. He released his Brahmastra. So Arjuna touched water for purification, and after circumambulating Lord Sri Krishna, he released his Brahmastra weapon to counteract the Brahmastra weapon which was already released by Ashwathama. That is the meaning of this verse. So, from this verse, we understand uh, two things. First is Arjuna was quite competent in invoking Brahmastra at will, number one, but he depended on the Lord for the success of his endeavors. Now, this is the meaning of a devotee. Devotee, uh, however expert he may be in different fields, but for he knows that unless the Lord sanctions, his expertise may not work. He may not get the desired result if the Lord does not want so. Now, this is called surrender or dependence on the Lord. Dependence on the Lord doesn't mean we don't do our duty. We do our duty, but we know that we should know that I may do my duty to the best of my ability, but if the Lord has some other plan in his mind, if the Lord has does not want this work to be successful, then I may become a failure. That's okay. But I will continue to do my duty depending on the Lord. So that is the understanding that we must get. So here Arjuna he seek the blessings of Lord Krishna for the successful counter of Ashwathama's Brahmastra, and then he released his Brahmastra. Let's go to the next shloka, text 13. Samhatyanyonyam ubhayos tejasi sharasambrite आवृत्य रोदसीखं च ववृधातेऽर्कवह्निवत्. Translation and purport by Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Suta Goswami continued, when the rays of the two Brahmastras combined, a great circle of fire, like the disk of the sun, covered all outer space and the whole firmament of planets. Purport. The heat created by the flash of a Brahmastra resembles the fire exhibited in the sun globe at the time of cosmic annihilation. The radiation of atomic energy is very insignificant in comparison to the heat produced by the Brahmastra. The atomic bomb explosion can at most blow up one globe, but the heat produced by the Brahmastra can destroy the whole cosmic situation. The comparison is therefore made to the heat of the sun, heat at the time of annihilation. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. So Suta Goswami is continuing to narrate what happened after Arjuna released his Brahmastra. Samhatya Anyonyam. Samhatya means combination. Anyonyam, one another. That means one Brahmastra was already released by Ashwathama, and now another Brahmastra was released by Arjuna. So both of them combined. Ubhayoho tejasi sharasamrite. Ubhayoho means of both. Tejasi, the glaring effulgence, the glares of both the Brahmastras. Shara samvrite. Shara means weapons. Samvrite means covering. Avritya rodasi. Avritya, covering. Rodasi means the complete firmament. So firmament means the whole sky that is visible the to the naked eye, the whole sky. And as it is mentioned here, uh, it covered the outer space, that is Rodasi. Kham cha, kham means the outer space. Vav, Vavrudhate arkavahanivat. Vavrudhate, Vriddhi means to increase. Vavrudha means to increase more and more. So the two Brahmastras combined together, a great circle of fire was produced. It was resembling the disk of the sun, and it covered the outer space and the whole firmament of planets. The whole outer space was covered by this ring of fire, which was produced because of the combination of the two Brahmastras. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, that Brahmastra is a very powerful weapon. Now, the modern atomic bombs can destroy some part of this planet when it is released, whereas the Brahmastra is so powerful that it can destroy the entire cosmic situation, it can destroy the entire universe. It is so powerful, right? And that's why the light or energy that is released, heat that is released because of the Brahmastra, is compared to the effulgence of the sun at the time of Pralaya, as we also hear from the scientists that a day will come when the sun, our sun, which is radiating heat and light, uh, when it reaches its advanced stages, it actually expands. It expands and it starts producing more amount of energy than it is producing now. And just because of this, the planets get absorbed. The inner circle of planets will get completely absorbed into the sun globe. Now, a similar thing is also explained in the Vedic scriptures, pralaya or annihilation. How does the destruction of the universe take place? Now, since the universe has been created at some point of time, it has to also be destroyed. That is the law of nature. Anything that is born has to also die. Anything that is created has to also be destroyed. So, just like our body is also born at a particular time on a particular day. So, by the laws of nature, we, the souls, remain in our bodies for a certain period of time. And once that prescribed period, designated period of time is completed, we have to leave this body and go, move on to the next body. So then what happens is this particular body in which we are living now is subjected to destruction, right? The Panchabhutas which are making up this body will be disentangled and they will join the Panchabhutas of the universe. So, in the same way, no, there are different types of pralayas in the same way that the entire universe also goes through periods, cycles of creation and destruction. There are different dis- uh, descriptions given in the scriptures. One of the descriptions is uh, the sun globe. It will start blowing up all the planets. It will start expanding and it will be very, very difficult to bear that heat. Another description is given of Pralaya, where the entire planetary systems of the universe will be submerged in water. That is another kind of Pralaya. And it is also described that during the time of complete annihilation, there will be flames of fire emanating from the mouths of Anantashesha, all the planets within the universe and all the universes in this material world. Uh, they're all situated on the top of the hoods of Anantashesha. So at the time of annihilation, Anantashesha from his mouth flames will come out and that will destroy the universes. So there are different descriptions of pralaya like this given in the Bhagavatam itself. So here it is said that the ring of fire, which was created because of the combination of the two Brahmastras, was so tormenting, but it was so effulgent, it was creating so much of heat that it was as though it is compared to the heat at the time of pralaya, at the time of annihilation. Let us go to the next shloka, text 31. दृष्ट्वास्त्रतेजस्तु तयोः त्रीलोकान् प्रदहन् महत् दह्यमाना प्रजा सर्वा साम्वर्तकम् अमम sata. Translation and purport by Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Suta Goswami continued, all the population of the three worlds was scorched by the combined heat of the weapons. Everyone was reminded of the Samvartaka fire which takes place at the time of annihilation. Purport. The three worlds are the upper, lower, and intermediate planets of the universe. Although the Brahmastra was released on this earth, the heat produced by the combination of both weapons covered all the universe, and all the populations on all the different planets began to feel the heat excessively and compared it to that of the Samvartaka fire. No planet, therefore, is without living beings, as less intelligent, materialistic men think. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. So, the description goes on. Drishtva astra tejaha. Drishtva means thus seeing. Astra tejaha. Astra tejaha means the heat produced by the combination of the two weapons, the two Brahmastras. Tu tayoho. Tayoho means of both. Treen lokan pradahat. Pradahat means dahana means to blaze forth, to burn up. Pradahat means to completely blaze, to completely burn. Treen lokan, all the three planetary systems, were actually affected by this combined heat. That means all the living entities in all these planetary systems experienced the heat of the combination of these two Brahmastras. So, Dahyamanaha Prajaha Sarve. Dahyamanaha. So they were severely burning. Dahyamanaha means to burn. Praja Sarve, the population of all the three planetary systems. Samvartakam Amamsata. Amamsata means they began to think. They began to think that, oh, maybe already the Samvartaka fire has begun its work of annihilating the universe. So, Samvartaka is the name of the clouds which Indra uh, uses at the time of annihilation. Samvartaka is also the name of the fire that spreads all over the universe during the time of annihilation. So, the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems, there are so many living entities living in each of these planetary systems. So, when they experienced the scorching heat produced by the combination of the two uh, Brahmastras, they all started thinking that maybe the time has come for the universal annihilation. So, that was the scale of uh, destruction that the two Brahmastras could create in the entire universe. So Prabhupada writes that even though the Brahmastras were released on this planet Earth, its effect was felt all over the universe in the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems. So from this, what do we understand? Uh, Brahmastra is after all a material weapon. It's a material energy. If material energy can create uh, a turmoil in the entire universe, then what to speak of the spiritual energy created by chanting of the holy names of the Lord, isn't it? So when we chant the holy names of the Lord, when devotees perform Sankirtana, the effect of that Sankirtana spreads all over the universe. In fact, the scriptures say that when one chants the holy names of the Lord, one's Bhakti Lata Bija progresses. One receives Bhakti Lata Bija, the seed of devotional service from a pure devotee spiritual master. And the devotee has to sow it in his heart and then water it continuously. The watering process is Shravanam and Kirtanam, chanting and hearing about the Lord. When one continues to chant and hear, thus watering this seed of Bhakti Lata creeper, the seed sprouts, it germinates, it sprouts and becomes a sapling, then it further grows continuously when we continue to chant and hear. And this Bhakti Lata creeper grows, penetrating the coverings of the universe. Then the creeper also enters into the spiritual sky and it enters the spiritual world, Goloka Vrindavana, there the creeper takes shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. And it is at that time that the devotee experiences the fruits of the creeper, which is actually pure love of Krishna. So, a Brahmastra weapon is a material power. Even though it is released on one planet, it has effect in the entire universe. In the same way, much more powerful is the process of Shravanam and Kirtanam. Even though we are living in this tiny planet, in this vast material world, if we practice Krishna consciousness seriously under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, then our our process of our bhakti yoga, our Krishna consciousness will take us to the spiritual world. It will help us gain entry into the spiritual world. So that is the power of Sankirtana Yajna. We should not think that this chanting of the holy name is a very simple ritual. No, it is very, very powerful. Srila Prabhupada says the holy name of the Lord, chanting, is simple but sublime. It is simple. That means anybody can do it. There are no hard and fast rules. Yet it is sublime. Sublime means it is very powerful. It can give us the highest perfection. It can liberate us from the chains of actions and reactions which have entangled us from many, many lifetimes. Not only that, it can free us from the ocean of repeated birth and death. The Hare Krishna Mahamantra can give us liberation from this material world. Not only that, the highest perfection that we can gain by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is that we will develop pure love for Krishna and we will become one of the associates of Krishna in the spiritual world. So, by chanting the holy names, we can actually go to the spiritual world. So, that is the process. So, here, Brahmastra weapon, though it is a material energy, it is creating havoc in the entire universe. That is the point to be noted. Another point that Srila Prabhupada makes in this purport is from this verse, we understand Dahyamanaha Prajaha Sarve Trin Lokan. Trin Lokan, upper, middle, and lower planetary systems. The earthly planet is called as middle planetary system, and above this there are six upper planetary systems, and below the earth there are seven lower planetary systems. They are called upper, middle, and lower. So there are prajaha, living entities, in all of these planetary systems. No planet in this universe is vacant. As the modern scientists say, they say only life exists on our planet. They say only Earth-like planets uh, can harbor life. So when they are trying to search for extraterrestrial life in this universe, they try to figure out, is there a planet which has features similar to the Earth? So according to them, only Earth and Earth-like planets can host life. According to them, all other planets are all empty, vacant, no life. But according to the Vedic scriptures, we understand that all the planets in this universe, they have varieties of living entities. There are living entities present in all the planets. No planet is empty. Why will the Lord create so many planets and leave them empty? It is totally illogical. Suppose you create a house, you construct a house. Will you just abandon it after constructing and go away? No. You construct the house so that you can live in it, or you can rent it out so that others can come and live in that place. So, house is constructed for living purpose. In the same way, the different lokas, the different planets that are existing in the universe, they're all meant to accommodate different kinds of living entities based on their karma reactions and based on their desires. The Lord has created different kinds of atmospheres and facilities in various planetary systems, and the Lord accommodates all of them there. In the Bhagavad Gita, we get this information. Krishna says, urdhvam gachanti sattvasthaha. He says those who are in the sattva guna, when they quit their body, they go to urdhva loka. Urdhva loka means higher planets. Hmm? And then those who are madhyam tishtanti rajasaha, those who are in the rajoguna, they they stay or they take birth again in the middle planetary systems, madhyam. Adho gachanti tamasaha, those who are in the tamoguna, they get degraded to lower planetary systems or lower species of life. So therefore, different planetary systems are designated for different kinds of living entities, and they have their different bodies and different environments. In the Bhagavatam, we get this information. Suppose there are, if you go to higher planets, like Siddhaloka is one of the higher planets, upper planetary systems. Those who are born in the Siddhaloka, by birth, their bodies will have certain siddhis, certain yogic powers. For example, without any airplane, they can travel at will in the sky. That is one of the siddhis. Now, to get that siddhi on this middle planetary system, one has to perform yoga and tapasya for a long duration of time. But in the higher planets, that siddhi is achieved by default. Just like a bird, by default, by birth, it has the ability to fly in the sky with its wings. So it need not have to do something extra to gain those powers of flying. The bird by default has this ability to fly. A human being by birth has the ability to walk, and in due course of time, the child learns to walk and speak. So these are all inbuilt qualities, right? Whereas an animal may not have the ability to speak like a human being. So each species has its own inbuilt abilities given by Krishna. According to its guna karma swabhava, each living entity behaves in a particular way, being situated in a particular body. And in this way, based on the three gunas influence, the living entities are accommodated either in upper planetary systems or middle planetary systems or lower planetary systems. So, therefore, no planet is vacant. Everywhere there is life existing. Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna says, the soul is called Sarvagataha. Sarvagataha means the soul is all pervading. That means it can live in all kinds of atmospheres. The soul, for example, on this own planet, on this our own planet, when we see, there are living entities living in deep ocean. They have a particular kind of body, aquatic plants and aquatic animals. And there are living entities who are able to fly in the sky, the birds. So they have different kinds of bodies suitable for their particular atmospheres, their particular habitats. In the same way, in other planetary systems, also life exists, and their bodies are suitable uh, for those atmospheric conditions. Now, just because we are not able to see life in the other planetary systems, it doesn't mean life does not exist. Life does exist everywhere in all the planetary systems because the soul is described as Sarvagataha. It lives everywhere. Let's go to the next verse, text 31. Sorry, text 32. प्रजोपद्रवमालक्ष्य लोकव्यक्तिकरं च तं मतं च वासुदेवस्य संजहारार्जुनो द्वयम्. Translation and purport by Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Thus, seeing the disturbance of the general populace and the imminent destruction of the planets, Arjuna at once retracted both Brahmastra weapons as Lord Sri Krishna desired. Purport. The theory that the modern atomic bomb explosions can annihilate the world is childish imagination. First of all, the atomic energy is not powerful enough to destroy the world. And secondly, ultimately, it all rests on the supreme will of the Supreme Lord, because without His will or sanction, nothing can be built up or destroyed. It is foolish also to think that natural laws are ultimately powerful. Material nature's law works under the direction of the Lord, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. The Lord says there that natural laws work under His supervision. The world can be destroyed only by the will of the Lord and not by the whims of tiny politicians. Lord Sri Krishna desired that the weapons released by both Drauni and Arjuna be withdrawn, and it was carried out by Arjuna at once. Similarly, there are many agents of the all powerful Lord, and by his will only can one execute what he desires. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. So here it is said, Prajopadravam alakshya, Praja upadravam. Praja means the people in general of all planetary systems. Upadravam means they were all disturbed. Upadrava means disturbance. Alakshya, having seen it. So both Krishna and Arjuna saw how the entire population of all the planetary systems were disturbed by the combination of the two Brahmastras. Then Loka Vyatikaram, Loka, the planets, Vyatikaram means destruction. Tam Matam Cha Vasudevasya. Vasudevasya Matam. Matam means opinion. Uh, Vasudevasya means of Lord Vasudeva, of Sri Krishna. So, when Arjuna saw that the combination of the two Brahmastras is creating a lot of disturbance for everyone, and it is also leading to the destruction of the planets. Therefore, according to the opinion of Vasudeva, based on the desire of Vasudeva, what did Arjuna do? Sanjahara Arjunaha Dvayam. Dvayam means both the weapons. Sanjahara, he retracted. He was able to call it back. He was able to withdraw both the weapons. So this is very important. So Vasudevasya Matam. A devotee always works according to the Vasudevasya Matam. What is the opinion of the Lord? What is the desire of the Lord? A devotee is interested to know that in every circumstance, and he tries to follow the instruction of the Lord as per his desire. This is what makes a person a devotee. When are you called a devotee? If you are leading your life according to Vasudevasya Matam, according to the opinion, according to the desire, according to the instructions of Vasudeva, Krishna, if you are leading your life in every given circumstance, then you are called a devotee, Vasudeva Paraha, fully devoted to Vasudeva. So here Arjuna consulted with Krishna what to do now. This combination of the two weapons. You told, my dear Lord, you told me to release the Brahmastra, I have released it. Now the combination of the two Brahmastras has created a ring of fire. It is blazing forth. It is producing so much heat. And I'm able to perceive that the three planetary systems, the living entities all over the three planetary systems, they're all disturbed by this blazing fire. So now what should I do? Then the Lord said, please retract both the weapons. Take it back. Now the point here is, whatever Arjuna did, he did it based on the guidance, based on the instructions of Krishna. That is very important. He did not whimsically act according to his own desires and his own concoctions. This is the main point here. In fact, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra also, Arjuna killed huge number of his own relatives and so many soldiers, so many warriors. not by his own concoction or by his own desire, but he simply acted based on the desire of the Lord. This is very, very important. Now, when we act according to our own desire, then we are implicated by the laws of karma. We become uh, subjected to the results of our karma. Papa and punya come into picture. So if I do some activity based on my own concoction, my own desire, and if it is uh, uh, according to the laws of karma, if it is a uh, positive activity, then you get positive result, punya. And if you do something to satisfy your own desires, and if it is against the laws of nature, then you accumulate papa, sinful reactions. Whereas a devotee of the Lord is free from this karma phala. He is free from papa and punya reactions if he simply acts according to the desire of Krishna. This is the point. So, Krishna's instruction to Arjuna to fight on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and Arjuna obeying his instructions and fighting on the battlefield does not come under the laws of nature because it was done by the according to the desire of the Lord. So Arjuna did not get any sinful reactions for killing so many thousands and lakhs of people on the battlefield. Why? Because he acted according to the superior direction of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada gives a wonderful example to make us understand this point. Suppose there is a soldier in the army, Indian army. Now, on the battlefield, the soldier kills so many uh, terrorists from the opposite country, and the government gives him gallantry awards, bravery awards, Veer Chakra, Paramveer Chakra. Like this, the government honors him. But the uh, uh, same soldier, when there is no war during vacation, let's say when he comes back to his house, and then he and his neighbor they fight for some reason, and the same soldier uses his rifle to kill the neighboring person, then what happens? The same government will put him behind bars. Now he should not say, see, that day I killed so many people on the battlefield, and you gave me Veer Chakra, Param Veer Chakra, you gave me recognition. But now only one person I have killed, hmm, and now you are putting me in jail. What is this? No, the understanding is that day when you killed on the battlefield, you did not do it for your own benefit. You did it on behalf of the government. Therefore, you are awarded. But now you are doing for your personal desire, and it is against the law of the government. So, karma has to be done not for personal enjoyment. When you seek personal pleasure in any karma, immediately the karma result will follow you. But when the same activity is done for the pleasure of the Lord, according to the instructions of the Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, then a devotee is free from the karma reaction. This is a very important principle. Krishna has told this in the third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, Yajnarthat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. Krishna says, for the sake of yajna, yajna means Lord Vishnu. For the purpose of pleasing Lord Vishnu, you should do all your karmas. Anyatra, otherwise, if you do it for your own personal benefit, you will get into karma bandhana. You will get into entanglement of the karma and its consequences. So this is the basis for karma yoga and of course bhakti yoga. A devotee does not do anything which is not pleasing to the Lord and to the spiritual master. So that is a point. Now here somebody may ask, The Lord already knew that Brahmastra, when it is released, it will cause this kind of a damage to the entire universe. So already Ashwathama had released one weapon. Why did Krishna ask Arjuna to release one more Brahmastra? The answer to this question is the Lord asks his devotees to do certain activities and he wants to glorify his devotees. The point is, even though Arjuna is so powerful that he can control a Brahmastra and release it, still he acted only because the Lord told him to release the Brahmastra. He did not phonetically release Brahmastra on his own. Because the Lord told, he released. And now, because the Lord is telling, take it back, he will take it back. That means a devotee is completely in sync with the Lord's scheme of things. This is the meaning of Vasudeva Paraha. Considering Vasudeva, considering Krishna to be the ultimate goal of one's existence. Pleasing Krishna is the ultimate goal. The Lord wanted to demonstrate how Arjuna is a surrendered soul. Therefore, he asked initially Arjuna to release the Brahmastra, and now he's saying retract both the Brahmastras. Another point, as we already discussed, a Brahmastra can be countered only by another Brahmastra. Therefore, the Lord asked him to release a Brahmastra to counter what Ashwathama has released. And when both are combined, then Arjuna was able to chant the mantras and retract both the Brahmastras. Now, in the purport, Prabhupada says, uh, one should not be foolish to think that atomic bomb can create the whole world. It is simply a childish imagination, Prabhupada is saying. Why? Because tena vina trunamapi na chalati. Without the sanction of the Supreme Lord, not even a blade of grass can move. Hmm? That is a very important principle. Without the Lord's sanction, nothing can happen. So, if the Lord wills, without Brahmastra, also the universe can get destroyed. And if the Lord wills, by releasing a Brahmastra, universe can still be saved. It is all within the control of the Lord. This is the point. Somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, you're chanting Hare Krishna mantra always, you're always remembering Krishna. What if somebody releases an atomic bomb, he drops an atomic bomb on you? What will you do? So Srila Prabhupada smiled and said, oh, let the bomb fall. We will see the bomb as Krishna and we will welcome him by chanting Hare Krishna. That means, you see how Prabhupada is fully surrendered to the Lord. He knows that without the Lord's sanction, nothing can happen. See, this is a very important point. Sometimes we miss out in our daily life. We think, even though we are trying to become Krishna conscious, sometimes we have this karma contamination, which makes us think that I can control things, I can control situations in my life as per my plan, as per my desire. But we forget that without the Lord's sanction, nothing can happen. Mare Krishna Rakhe Krishna Mare ke. If Krishna decides to protect somebody, no one can harm such a person. On the contrary, if Krishna decides to kill somebody, no one can protect such a person. This is a very important principle, one of the 6 principles of surrender, to understand that Lord is my sole protector. Rakshayiti iti vishwasaha. The Lord will definitely protect me. And how he will protect me, that is left up to him. But I just surrender to the Lord with full faith, and the Lord will protect me. This is the faith of a pure devotee. So Arjuna just carried out whatever the Lord said. And Prabhupada also mentions here the world is functioning according to the Lord's uh, control, direction. This is in the 9th chapter, 10th shloka. Mayadhyakshena prakritihi suyate sacharacharam. So this entire Prakriti is working under my superintendence. That means Prakriti is under the control of the Supreme Lord, Krishna. So nothing can happen in the material world without the Lord's sanction. That means whatever is happening now, it is happening in the knowledge of the Lord. It is happening by the sanction of the Lord. That we have to understand. In our lives also, we should have firm conviction that whatever is happening in my life, it is sanctioned by the Lord. Some situations may be palatable, some may be unpalatable, but we should know that everything the Lord has sanctioned, that is why it is happening in my life. So I should not get disturbed. We should not get disturbed. We should know that the Lord has some plan, and that is why it is happening this way. So this is the meaning of surrendering to the Lord. Text 33. तत आसाद्य तरसा दारुणं गौतमी सुतं बबन्धामर्षताम्राक्षः पशुं रशनया यथा. Translation and purport by Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada. Translation: Arjuna, his eyes blazing in anger like two red balls of copper, dexterously arrested the son of Gautami and bound him with ropes like an animal. Purport: Ashwathama's mother, Kripi, was born in the family of Gautama. The significant point in this shloka is that Ashwathama was caught and bound up with ropes like an animal. According to Sridhara Swami, Arjuna was obliged to catch this son of a Brahmana like an animal as a part of his duty or dharma. This suggestion by Sridhar Swami is also confirmed in the later statement of Sri Krishna. Ashwathama was a bona fide son of Dronacharya and Kripi, but because he had degraded himself to be lower status of to a lower status of life, it was proper to treat him as an animal and not as a Brahmana. Tata, thereupon, asadya, arrested. Tata asadya tarasa. Tarasa means quickly, dexterously. Darunam Gautami Sutam. Darunam means dangerous. Gautami Sutam, the son of Gautami. So that is Ashwathama. Ashwathama, his mother is Kripi, and this Kripi happened to take birth in the lineage of Gautama Rishi. Therefore, she is referred to as Gautami, and Ashwathama is known as Gautami Sutta. So, Babandha Amarsha, Babandha means bandhana, means to bind up. So, Babandha, bound up. Amarsha, angry. Tamra Akshaha, Tamra means copper. Akshaha means eyes. So, Arjuna's eyes in anger, they look like two uh, molten copper balls, very red, in anger. Tamrakshaha. Pashum Rashanaya Yatha. Yatha means just like. Pashun means animals. Rashanaya means by ropes. So Arjuna was so angry at Ashwathama. According to the instruction of Krishna, what did Arjuna do? He actually bound Ashwathama with a rope like one binds an animal. Generally, Brahmanas are actually given highest respect in the society, especially by the Kshatriyas. The Brahmanas are called Bhusura. They are the devatas on this earthly planet because they represent the will of the Lord, because they are custodians of Vedic knowledge. They help others to become Krishna conscious. Therefore, the Brahmanas who are full of Brahma Jnana, they're always held in high esteem by the Kshatriyas and even great emperors. Whereas this Ashwathama, because he has performed such a heinous act and he has killed the Upapandavas, they were children, they were young boys, When they were sleeping, Ashwatthama has killed them. And not only that, Ashwatthama has released this Brahmastra for the sake of his own personal protection, not knowing how to retract it. And if that was not countered by Arjuna, it would have created a huge disaster. So uh, all these activities of Ashwatthama uh, are are degraded. So he is not at all a Brahmana. Therefore, he is treated like a pashu. He is treated like an animal. So Arjuna's anger here is nicely described. Amarsha tam rakshaha. His anger, because of his anger, his eyes were very red, like two copper balls. That means anger also, when it is utilized in the service of the Lord, it is actually spiritual. When we use anger, when do we generally get angry? Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita. When our karma, when our desires are frustrated, then krodha comes about. So, generally, people in this material world become angry because their own desires are frustrated. But a pure devotee like Arjuna, when he becomes angry, he is angry because there are demoniac people who challenge the authority of the Lord. That is the cause of his anger. He is not angry because his personal desires are frustrated. A pure devotee fully depends on Krishna for all his desires. And he accepts whatever the Lord sanctions. He has no hankerings. So when he becomes angry, we should not mistake that angry to be a material anger. Krishna's anger and the anger of pure devotees of Krishna, they are completely on the spiritual platform. They are not controlled by anger, but they become angry when they see demoniac people challenging the authority of the Lord. So here, Arjuna's anger was quite apt. And on whom he was showing anger? He was showing on this Gautami Sutaha, the son of Kripi, the wife of Dronacharya, who was actually supposed to behave like a Brahmana, but he was behaving like a Pashu. Now, the analogy used here is also very good. Pashu means animal. Animal does not have the sense of discrimination. What to do, what not to do. This discrimination animal does not have. Prabhupada gives an example. Suppose there is a pig and you feed nice halwa to the pig, halwa made with ghee. The pig will eat your halwa, and the next moment the pig will go to the gutter and search for stool there and eat it. The pig will not think, oh, just now I ate nice halwa. Why should I go and eat stool? No. That is Pashu. Pashu means no discrimination. In fact, even in relationships, there is no discrimination in the animals. The pig, it will have sex with its own family members. Hmm? Does not discriminate, mother or daughter or anybody like that. Now, this is degraded animal civilization. So, if you see in the modern day, in Kali Yuga, human beings are behaving worse than Pashu, worse than animals, because they have lost that power to discriminate what to do, what not to do. In the 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains the qualities of demons. Uh, uh, there, Krishna says, a demon is a person who does not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Means he has no sense of discrimination based on spiritual intelligence and knowledge. So Ashwathama, even though he was born as a Brahmana, as a son of Brahmana, Dronacharya, he should have actually used his discriminating power, but unfortunately, he did not use it. Therefore, he is compared to a Pashu here. And a Pashu can be controlled not by good words, a Pashu can be controlled only by force. Only by force. And that is why Arjuna bound up this Ashwathama with ropes, and thus he was treated like an animal. So if we have got this human form of life, if we behave like animals, then we will also get bound up. uh. In the Sanskrit language, the word guna has got several meanings. One meaning of guna is quality. Another meaning of the word guna is rope. The three gunas, they are the three qualities, the three modes of material nature. The three gunas bind up every living entity in this material world. Hmm? So we get bound up. We lose our freedom. Like a tree, for example, a tree has no freedom to move at all. In the mode of ignorance, it simply has to stand there in one place. That's the punishment. So when we have got such a wonderful human form of life, instead of using this human form of life to elevate ourselves, to become Krishna conscious and go back to the spiritual world, if we simply engage in animalistic activities, then we will get bound up by the laws of karma, will get bound up by the three gunas, and get degraded to lower species of life. So, the biggest lesson we should learn from this incident of punishment of Ashwathama is that if we do not use our power of discrimination, if we don't consult with the Shastras, the scriptures, Guru and Sadhu, and simply act according to our own whims and our own desires, then we will get degraded further into lower species of life. We will be condemned by the laws of nature. That is a lesson we have to learn. We'll see one more shloka and then close. Text 34. Shibiraya ninishantam rajva badhva ripum balat praharjunam prakupito prakupito bhagavan ambhuje kshanaha. Translation and purport by Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada. Translation, Suta Goswami continued. After binding Ashwathama, Arjuna wanted to take him to the military camp. The personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, looking on with his lotus eyes, spoke to angry Arjuna. Purport. Both Arjuna and Lord Sri Krishna are described here in an angry mood. But Arjuna's eyes were like balls of red copper, whereas the eyes of the Lord were like lotuses. This means that the angry mood of Arjuna and that of the Lord are not on the same level. The Lord is transcendence, and thus he is absolute in any stage. His anger is not like the anger of a conditioned living being within the modes of qualitative material nature. Because he is absolute, both his anger and pleasure are the same. His anger is not exhibited in the three modes of material nature. It is only a sign of his bent of mind towards the cause of his devotee because that is his transcendental nature. Therefore, even if he is angry, the object of anger is blessed. He is unchanged in all circumstances. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. Shibiraya, Shibira means the military camp. Ninishantam, wanting to bring him, while bringing him. So Ashwathama had promised Draupadi, sorry, Arjuna had promised Draupadi in the beginning of this chapter. We have read those verses where Arjuna said, I will bring the culprit in front of you, and then you can give a suitable punishment to him. This was the promise which Arjuna made to Draupadi, and then both Krishna and Arjuna set out to search for Ashwathama, right? So now Arjuna wanted to take this Ashwathama. So first he bound him with ropes. Now he wanted to take him to the camp, present him in front of Draupadi. Rajva Badhva Ripum Balat. Means ropes. Badhva, bound up. Ripum Balat. By force, he took his enemy, Ashwathama. At that time, Praha Arjunam Prakupitaha. Arjuna is what? Prakupitaha. He's very angry. He's in an angry mood. Already we have seen that. At that time, Bhagavan Ambujekshanaha Praha. Praha means he said. Who said? Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. Krishna said, and Krishna is described here as Ambujekshanaha, who looks with his lotus eyes. Ikshana means to see, Ambuja means lotus. So Lord's eyes are compared to lotus petals. So Prabhupada explains in the purport, Arjuna's anger and Krishna's anger, they are different. In other words, the anger exhibited by a conditioned living entity and the anger of the Lord, both are different. As we described, when we become angry because of frustration of our desires. But the Lord is Satya Sankalpa. Whatever He decides will surely happen. So there is no question of frustration of Lord's desires. But still, here Krishna is described as being angry. Why is he angry? So Prabhupada writes here in the purport, as we read just now, his anger is not exhibited in the three modes of material nature. It is only a sign of his bent of mind towards the cause of his devotee, because that is his transcendental nature. What is the transcendental nature of Krishna? He is always supporting the cause of his devotee. Arjuna was angry at Ashwathama because Ashwathama had wronged, he had actually killed his sons. And Krishna, he is also angry at Ashwathama because Arjuna is angry. In the Mahabharata, before the battle of Kurukshetra, a very beautiful statement Krishna makes in front of Arjuna and all others, Pandavas. So Krishna says, my dear Arjuna, whoever is your enemy is my enemy also. Whoever is your friend is my friend also. If somebody has committed an offense against you, given you trouble, and you are deciding to, deciding to punish them, I am there with you. Like that, Krishna tries to console Arjuna in one situation before the battle of Kurukshetra. The point is, since the pure devotee is always eager to serve the Lord is also eager to serve the cause of the pure devotee. Whatever the pure devotee decides, the Lord also decides to help. So that is the nature of the Lord. This is not because of the influence of the three gunas. Arjuna might have sometimes get influenced by the three gunas because he's a ordinary soul, whereas Krishna is the supreme Lord himself. So how can he be influenced by the three gunas? So his anger is not a manifestation of the three gunas, but it is transcendental anger. That is why here it is said, previous shloka we saw Arjuna's eyes were compared to uh, red copper balls, isn't it? Tamraksha. But Krishna's eyes are compared to Ambujaksha. Hmm? Even in his anger, he is so beautiful to look at. His anger also, his eyes are depicting anger, but that anger, since it is transcendental, even in his angry mood, seeing Krishna is so pleasing to the eyes. Therefore, his eyes are compared to lotus. In every condition, the Lord is very pleasing to look at. Hmm. Sometimes when we wake up early in the morning and just from the bed, you're just woken up from the sleep, your eyes are still, your face, eyes are still in a sleepy mood. So when you look at your own face in the mirror, oh, you will find, oh, what is this? Is this me? It's not very pleasing to see. Uh, so sometimes we are pleasing to see to the eyes, sometimes we are not. But Krishna is not like that. Krishna is always pleasing to the eyes. Hmm. Even his angry mood is pleasing to look at. So in the Ramayana also, one of the 16 qualities of Lord Rama that is described in the very beginning of Ramayana, there Eka Priya Darshanaha, Valmiki Rishi Narad Muni says to Valmiki Rishi, one of the 16 qualities of Lord Ramachandra is Eka Priya Darshanaha. He is always pleasing to look at in every situation, whether he's angry, whether he's sad, whether he's so called, excited, whether he is fighting on the war field, whether he is blessing his devotees. In every situation, Lord Ramachandra's face is Priya Darshanaha. It is very pleasing to look at. So that is the quality of the Supreme Lord. So Bhagavan Ambujekshanaha. That's why it is said here. The Lord, even though he is angry, he is his eyes are lotus-like, and so here Prabhupada says that is the meaning of absolute. Uh, he is absolute in any stage. His anger is not like the anger of a conditioned living being. Modes of qualitative material nature. And in fact, the person on whom Krishna casts his anger, that anger of the object of anger is also blessed, Prabhupada says. On somebody, if Krishna becomes angry, that means that person is actually fortunate. Somehow Krishna has paid his attention towards that person. So that means the Lord is all good. That is the meaning. Even the demons who whom the Lord kills, they attain liberation. It is said that all the soldiers who died in the presence of Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, they all attained either liberation or they attained higher planetary systems. That is the effect of giving up one's body in the presence of the Lord. So they remembered the Lord somehow or the other at the time of their death. So whether the Lord blesses somebody or whether the Lord kills somebody, both are absolute. In both the cases, the person who is blessed and the person who is, get punished, they actually get spiritually benefited. So that is the meaning. So we will continue to read and understand more in the coming session. Thank you for your valuable time. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, विश्व गुरु शीला प्रभुपाद की जय. Hare Krishna.